Boom. All right, there we go. Mr. Dylan Langei, welcome back to the Pivot series of Building Bellingham.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Awesome. Yeah, and you were on a call yesterday with a pretty great group of people, and it was a more generalized conversation about business in our local community. And your specific business is lending and the banking industry. So tell me a little bit more about yourself and what's going on in your world specifically.
Yeah. So my name's Dylan Langei. I basically run the mortgage division up in Bellingham for the Bellingham branch for Umpqua Bank. So I have 23 employees. We actually closed down our brick and mortar office 2 Mondays ago. So we are all now working from home. Hence the sweatshirt and the ball cap and the backdrop here. But yeah, it's been a significant change for a lot of people, here at Umpqua Bank. But luckily, our laptops are our hard drives. We got everyone set up with monitors, keyboards, the whole 9 yards. So we're fully operational, which is, we're very fortunate to work for a company and in an industry that we're able to do that and able to pivot that quickly. So yeah.
That's awesome. So it sounds like more than direct impact you've had, if anything does impact the mortgage business, it will be more indirect because it affects your clients, which are realtors and consumers, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, we're not, we are deemed an essential service because we are a financial service. So we're able to still operate. I think Umpqua Bank just made the decision to have, there's no need to have 23 employees bringing 60 clients, a day through the home lending office when we can just work from home and get scanned copies of everything. So that was more of an Umpqua Bank decision, which I really appreciate. But yeah, our clients are definitely, as days go on, becoming more and more impacted by the significant layoffs that we're seeing. More and more industries are becoming, deemed non-essential. I think it's asinine that I can go to Starbucks and get my venti iced coffee, but, residential construction has completely stopped. I mean,
wow,
that blows me away a little bit. But yeah, I was reading an article on CNBC this morning that Washington State is the 4th highest state for people applying for unemployment. Out of the 50 states. So that just goes to show that us here in Washington State, which that's the majority of our business, even though we are a regional bank and we can lend in, 13 states, the majority of our business is from, realtor partners like you, here in Whatcom County. And so, with people being laid off, that poses a significant problem for us, even with active files. If people are laid off, they are technically not employed anymore. We do a verbal verification of employment before we close the loan. That is an issue. That is a very big issue. And then, people that were maybe pre-approved and looking around, if their husband or wife has become unemployed or themselves, or, somebody that's going to help with the payment, suddenly they're not looking for homes anymore. There's obviously been some pullbacks as well with not being able to have open houses. A lot of people doing things digitally. A lot of thing about, buying a home is seeing it and feeling it and just really being there and making sure you can raise a family in it. I mean, it's a big financial decision. So day by day, we're feeling greater impacts, with our clients mainly. So yeah, it's been a big shift these recent weeks.
Yeah. So it sounds like, again, the fact that people who are looking to purchase homes are now no longer employed or part-time employed, that's obviously affecting their pre-approval status. And that's changing your industry because kind of indirectly, right? So tell me a little bit more about, for somebody that's like in the market right now, needs to move, what are, like, besides the basic, credit, income, and assets, what are the most important things that you're seeing or recommending for people to make sure that you can really thread that needle when they go to purchase a home or refinance their home or whatever it may be?
Yeah. I mean, I think it comes down to, this global pandemic or not, I'm always, talking to my clients, coaching my clients, like, we have certain criterias of what I can pre-approve you for, right? There's certain calculations with debt to income ratio, and we won't bore everyone with that, but they need to personally budget as well. Like, I can tell you, here's what your mortgage payment is going to be, right? It's going to be $2,000 a month, but I don't know what their cell phone bill is, what their Comcast bill is, if they have any other bills that, are not on a credit report. I only see, items that are on a credit report. So those clients, they know their comfortability with, their current employer. They know what their personal budgeting is. So I'm just having people kind of take a closer look at that and really understand, if you have any uncertainty in your job, maybe you were getting 5 hours of overtime a week all the time. With things shutting down, I mean, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a month, it could be a year. We really don't know at this point. So, I'm not trying to instill fear in people, but this is the biggest purchase of their life. So we need to make sure that they're fully equipped to make those mortgage payments and, not fall behind on the first, second, or third payment.
Right. Trying to set people up for success. And I know sometimes it feels like when somebody tells you what you don't want to hear, especially you're in the industry of telling people what they sometimes want to hear, but a lot of the times it's what they don't want to hear, which is you have this outstanding balance, or you have this or that. You're kind of like the doomsday guy, right? But it's so important though, because what you're doing is you're setting people up for success, right? That's your job, is setting people up for success. And I'd love to hear from you, maybe some suggestions. How have you redlined certain items in your life to make sure that you have, preparation for whatever's coming in the future? Because we don't know, right?
Right. I think it's just surrounding yourself with the right people. I mean, I have the best team in the world, at Umpqua. And, I always tell people this. I'm actually the newest loan officer there. Well, I just hired a junior LO, so now I can't say that anymore. That used to be my claim to fame. Now I'm the branch manager, and I, coach, and I learn. I mean, I learn more from them than I do myself. I mean, the last recession in 2008, I was in high school. I mean, I'm 27 years old. I was not impacted by anything in 2008 or the tech bubble, in 2001. So I've never lived through something like this. I mean, I've physically lived through it, but I haven't financially lived through it. So leaning on those people that are around you, I mean, people like you, right? Us connecting and just seeing how are we setting ourselves up for success. Leaning on my parents, they've lived through both of them. They both work or worked at a financial institution. So they've seen this before, and they've seen how it's impacted, our little micro economy here in Bellingham and the global economy. So, I mean, my dad's been harping on me since, I started this job. Save, save, save. It'll never be this good. It'll never be this good. He kept kind of putting that into my brain. And I, although I would roll my eyes at him, I'm glad he said it, right? So it's mainly surrounding yourself by the right people, and being realistic and understanding that everything happens for a reason. This is what's happening right now. Let's buckle up. Let's buckle down. Who can we help? Who can we lean on? And let's get through this, because, this will end. It's just the fear factor is when.
Yeah, understood. And definitely agreed on that. And it's really interesting you say that, because how many people in our world do you see that when things are really good, they have a boat, and nothing wrong with boats, but I don't want a boat because I'm not the guy that's going to maintain a boat. And I think the key is, no matter what, live within your means, live within a world of comfort. Not to say don't be comfortable, right? But you're saying you just don't know when something like this is going to happen, that's going to quite literally pivot or change the way that this business is done. Any business is done. This is going to change how all businesses are done. This is not wiping every business out. This is an opportunity for us to grow into that. So, I mean, it sounds like for you, just listening to your parents, which I'm sure you and I both have had our fair share of not listening to our parents, right?
Yeah, it never ends well.
But no, it usually ends well when you do listen. But I think the point being, when things are good, this is a really good lesson. When things are good, you're talking about treating it as not necessarily that things aren't good, but treating it as if in the future, things may not be this good. It always changes. And for somebody like you and I, that we haven't been in this business long enough to be through another recession, right?
Yep.
What does this feel like to you? Does this feel like a recession to you, or does this feel like a a year blip, or what is, I mean, I know we don't have crystal balls, but what does it feel like to you?
Right. It's tough, right? Because it's still in its infancy stage. I think, at least in our industries right now, because I have not directly, indirectly, I've felt impacted by clients, and I've been proactive in reaching out, making sure, hey, are you still actively employed? Have your hours been reduced? What can I do to help? What information do you need? But this is back to when it's good. I mean, we both run our own businesses. I mean, even though we have this umbrella, right? You have Keller Williams, I have Umpqua Bank. I see myself as an independent contractor. I mean, I work under this umbrella, but I run my own business. I have my own relationships and business partners. And when it's good, I was just talking to a good buddy of mine that's a contractor. When it was good, I mean, I was working 15 hours a day. And I remember my friends and family, I'd be on vacation on my laptop. Geez, get off your laptop. Can't you take a break? No. I mean, I remember my dad, it will never be this good. It will never be this good. So when it's good, you got to just buckle up and work hard and have that nest egg, because it won't always be that good. Right. We always have ebbs and flows. A lot of people say there's always a recession every 10 years, right? If you think about 2001, 2008, and now we're 2020, that's pretty much every 10 years on average. So you always have to be ready for the worst. I think this one happened a lot quicker because of this global pandemic. It wasn't just, an economic recession. It was, stimulated by, a disease, unlike 2008. It feels real, but I'm also, I'm very positive, and I'm looking forward to having a little more time to working on the things that I haven't had time to work on. Bettering my business practices and processes, and, taking up I've talked to you about this. I want to pick up mountain biking. I mean, working 15 hours a day, and I was, playing soccer for, Bellingham United, a semi-pro team. I mean, I was working 15 hours a day. Then I would have practice Monday, Wednesdays from 10 to midnight. And I'd have games where we would travel on Saturdays. I mean, I was fully booked, But now I have some breathing room, right? We're going on runs at Patton. I'm able to work out at home. I'm able to get things done on my home. I'm able to work on some website stuff. I love that kind of artistic ability, kind of just bringing that out. So I'm able to just fill my time with other things that maybe I didn't have time for. So
it's kind of a blessing in disguise. And I don't want to like take the light off the fact that this is a huge, it's a sad event, all the things that are happening and ensuing from this. But what you're doing and what we've talked about on these other calls and many conversations that we've had is about focusing on what is the kind of that hidden gem in there. What is the thing that I can take out of this that truly is a positive? And I mean, we never were running at Patton. All of a sudden we're running at Patton. I'm taking my dog hiking. I'm outdoors. We're spending more time at home cooking. I don't know about you, but I'm cooking more at home. So
I know I'm going through a kitchen remodel, and this is the most amount of time I've spent at home.
Yeah.
So it's a little inconvenient, but it's just making the best out of your situation and what you can control. I don't have a cure for, this virus. I don't know the answers, but I can control my own life and the people I impact, and, the clients I serve, and my coworkers, or, my employees. I don't like to call them that, but, bettering them. Like, let's do some more trainings. Let's focus on what we can control. So when we come out on the other end of this, we're actually better than when we went into it. That's I want to have a positive spin on it. This is obviously a detrimental event to many people. And, if people watching, if you are laid off and you have more time than ever, I mean, don't just wake up and day drink all day. I mean, what have you, or night, what have you wanted to start? Have you wanted to sell your drawings online? Do you design clothes? Do you make a website? Like, this is the time. Me and you talked about this, right? I listened to this podcast with Mark Cuban. It was like the only positive spin I've heard on this whole pandemic is like, great innovation comes from recessions. Like, people have more time on their hands than they've ever had before. How can you solve some issue that you're facing right now because we're not face to face? What does that look like? Do that. Don't just, sit at home and day drink and think, geez, this is a 2-week thing. This is not a short-term thing. This is going to change the business landscape, not only in Whatcom County, but I think globally. So.
Yeah, agreed. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that knowledge with us. And so, again, grateful that we have this ability to get on a call, and we have this technology that allows us to connect. And it almost feels like we're in the same room. It's just it's a little different. It's a little weird. I just see a pixel of you, but no, I appreciate all your insights and willingness to contribute to all of the people out there that are listening.
Hey, for sure, man. Thanks for having me, as always.
All right, my friend. Take care.
Yeah, you too.